to the Fusionary Health podcast. So this is our first episode, and this is my chance to dive into what this podcast is going to be about, why I created Fusionary, and what exactly Ayurveda is, since a very small subsect of this world has heard of Ayurveda. So let's dive in. I decided to create a podcast because I am very lucky and very fortunate that I get to have profound conversations with all sorts of physicians and practitioners, ranging from traditional medicine all the way through integrative and holistic, all the way to the other side of the very esoteric. And it's really cool, the profound, deep conversations that I get to have with these practitioners that nobody else gets to have. Like, my mind explodes in almost every conversation. And so I thought, how cool would it be to get to interview these people and share their wisdom with you, share what they do, share their best practices, their favorite patient stories and miracle outcomes that they've created in this world, so that all of us can get a new perspective on medicine. What I see is there's so much negativity around medicine on both sides. There's doubt of traditional medicine. There's doubt of the holistic and integrative side as well. And I'm a very big believer in compromise and meeting in the middle and understanding who can support us in which way and when, and which bucket do we need to dip into at different times to support our health optimally so we can have vibrant health. So my philosophy on health is we can build vibrant health every single day. It's a choice. And that choice is one that the sooner we make it, the sooner we're building our resilience, our strength, our ability to fight off whatever we need to fight off and keep and maintain the health that we crave at the level that we crave it. Our potential with health, in my opinion, is limitless. I build my health to be better and better year after year. And I do that by exploring and investigating and trial and error. I meet a practitioner and I think, okay, I'm going to try that philosophy. Or I see a diet, I'll try that one too. I see a new device, I'll test that out. I use myself as a guinea pig. Nowadays, we call that biohacking. And anything that I find, I will test it out on myself. I'll consult my family and friends and see if people are willing to. I have a couple of biohackers in my family who are willing to test theories with me. And once I try it, a lot of people around me start adopting it, like infrared sauna and these types of tools that we can use for detoxification and supporting the body very profoundly. So you might be wondering, what is Ayurveda? What is this thing that she's talking about? So Ayurveda is a system of health, healing, and medicine from India that's over 5,000 years old. So just like we have traditional Chinese medicine with acupuncture coming out of China and East Asia, in India, they had their own entire system. And if you go to India, they have a medical degree, like they have a proper medical school, many of them for Ayurveda. They have Ayurvedic hospitals. They have hospitals where you have allopathic and Ayurvedic medicine practiced alongside each other, honoring that both systems are relevant and effective. Ayurveda is that, living in the old towns, you'd go to your village guru and ask for help around your health. And that was usually an Ayurvedic practitioner. That was someone who knew how to go find the right leaf or the right flower or the right tea to put together for you to profoundly transform your health. So I am a big believer in what Ayurveda can do for us because at the right moment in my life, I discovered Ayurveda and its tools for myself and was able to transform my own health. So my family history is one that's pretty crappy. People have certain genetics, certain family history that they come with. And most of the time we take that as like a death sentence, like a given that because my family history is X, I will have X. And growing up in Houston, Texas, which is where I'm from, to an Indian family, I saw my mother and all of her brothers and sisters and both sets of my grandparents suffer with such profound health issues. My mom was diabetic. She kept going to endocrinologist after endocrinologist, nutritionist. She kept trying different diets to lose weight, Jenny Craig and all these things. My parents were extremely successful, but they were never winning in the health category because of how hard they worked. And I looked at that and thought, okay, great. So you're building me to be a smart, driven person who's going to go out there and build cool things, but I'm going to sacrifice my health on the way. And then 60 to 100 years old is going to look like this? I don't think so. I don't think this is right. And I just went on this journey, looking for how am I going to fix this in their generation and then also subsequently in my own generation. So we used to go to India every year and I would see my grandparents. My grandma on my dad's side had a quadruple bypass. My grandfather on my dad's side had Parkinson's, diabetes, his leg got amputated, and he became non-functional and then passed away on my trip to India. My maternal grandfather died of a heart attack. He had so many advanced stage of diabetes type issues, and he had heart disease. My grandma on my mom's side is the only one still living, and now all the children have diabetes and the after effects. And so I have literally made it my mission to just keep myself off that line of diabetes my whole life. And I've always been on a journey to figure out how I could do it. And I'm really proud of myself because my blood work shows that 99% of the time I'm not in the pre-diabetic category unless my weight swings significantly due to children or other factors. But my family history really dictated my health journey because I wanted to understand how could I win at health. And when I was in high school, my mom hired a personal trainer, took me to exercise, and I fell in love with the gym. And I think that was a really huge turning point for me because I gained control of my health in a way that I hadn't had before. And by the time I went to college, I realized, why do I have an immune system that doesn't support me? I was traveling to India and I got disastrously sick. And I felt like, okay, I also need to understand why this immune system I've been given doesn't function like anyone else's. How come everyone else can get on an airplane, they don't get sick? They can go to a party, they don't get sick. And every single thing I go to, I have to go and rejuvenate, restart, resettle myself after anything that I do. And so finally, I was so sick in India once and I looked around and I said, you guys, aren't we in the land of yoga and Ayurveda? I have heard about these things. I don't understand why we're not applying it to me. And so my parents looked at me and said, okay, sure, whatever you're into, let's go. I had very supportive parents. And so we started traveling all around India to every Ayurveda detox center that was well-renowned and well-known. And that's where I got an education in how differently we can think about, approach, and manage our health, and how profoundly we can invest in preventive health in a way that here in the West, we have no concept of it. And so it's been a journey. I've studied and applied Ayurveda to my life for 20 years. I did my master's in it. I did my PhD in it. My PhD was on turmeric, the spice. And so I'm very passionate about teaching that we have so much more control and power over our health and health outcomes than we think. And it really comes down to every single thing we put in our mouth, that we put in our mind, that we allow to impact our emotions, that we allow to impact our physical space, that we allow to toxify our bodies. And if we learn how to manage that consciously, we can create such a profound shift in terms of our vibrancy. I don't say the word vibrant health lightly. I'm not saying, hey, be vibrant, be joyful and energized. What I'm actually saying is we are vibrational beings, and the vibration that we live at is a choice. And we can choose to, first of all, cleanse and detox and purify our physical body. We can do that for the mental body, the emotional body, and then the auric body as well. So I don't talk as much about the spiritual, but Ayurveda is a system that shows us how to bring mind, body, and spirit into alignment. So when it comes to accessing those worlds or accessing that level of joy state or staying in that bliss that we can get in meditation, all of that is given to us through Ayurveda. And that's my firm belief is Ayurveda is one of the beautiful vehicles that can give it to us. I do honor that there's so many other integrative systems that give that to us as well. So from Ayurveda, I love to teach that inflammation is the root cause of most of our diseases. And if we can approach inflammation from a more conscious standpoint every day, dropping those inflammatory foods, increasing the things that reduce inflammation, we can create a huge shift in our health. If we can look at gut health and the gut microbiome and honor it as the system that's guiding, it's like the computer system that's guiding every single thing in the body. It's affecting our hormone health. It's affecting our brain health. There is a gut-brain axis. So what's beautiful is modern medicine and modern science is proving what Ayurveda said 5,000 years ago. And it's proving it every single day. If you follow the science, it's saying circadian rhythm or chronobiology is true. Beautiful. That came from Ayurveda. It's saying that the gut microbiome is to be honored above all. Awesome. That came from Ayurveda too. We're learning that hormonal health is a guiding system in our body that must be honored. Okay, inflammation affects our hormonal health. We have to look at gut health and inflammation if we're going to have hormonal health issues and we want to balance it all. Brain health, huge issue. There's so many great people in the health and wellness space diving into brain health right now. Why? Because brain health is trashed. I'm seeing so many people. I have not met one woman who doesn't say she has brain fog, she's exhausted, anxious, tired, frustrated. The list goes on. And people are grasping at straws, just trying to find a solution that works. And for me, I found that solution for myself in Ayurveda. I learned that all those issues that I was talking about are interconnected. And so solve one and you can solve that whole chain of health issues in the body. I did my PhD in turmeric, like I said. So turmeric to me is like that favorite tool that I use first. I want people to take their turmeric daily. I want them to reduce inflammation significantly. I went out there and built a supplement company 7 years ago called Fusionary Formulas. And my goal was, I want to prove that all of Western medicine can stop giving us things like NSAIDs that have side effects, and they could instead use a natural solution for pain and inflammation. Or use this as an adjunct, offer the natural solution alongside that other solution. And so Fusionary Formulas has done phenomenally. And I have this honor, like I mentioned, of meeting the Fusionary collective of doctors. These are rock stars. I've probably met thousands and thousands of doctors, many of whom I don't work with, but I handpick and cherry pick and build relationships with incredible doctors who do incredible work. And from them, I built my own dream team of practitioners who are allowed to touch me and help me with my vibrant health and my body. So I want to share those practitioners with you because I meet the best of the best. We have these mind-blowing conversations. I learn so much. And I wish that all of us would understand all the different types of modalities that exist, all the different types of practitioners that exist, all the different aspects of the health and wellness space, many of which you might not have been exposed to yet. And also understand that there's such profound wisdom out there around our health, and we don't have to just do what we've been spoon-fed. We're typically raised by our parents, and whatever their parents said is a good diet became our diet growing up. Whatever their parents said was appropriate, and the rules of society were what we were taught. And so it took me a long time to break out of that, but to see, okay, yes, we eat fresh Indian food in my home, but that doesn't mean that that high carb meal is appropriate in this day and age for the amount of exercise and movement we have. And so I really invite you to have an open mind when you listen to this podcast, because we're going to dive into some different topics, some of which you may never have heard of, but it's with the lens of what can we learn here? What can we explore? And then how can we take the wisdom and nuggets from that and apply it to ourselves to create a shift? And once we create all those different shifts over a period of time, you're going to have an entirely different body, mind space, emotional space. Because as we clean and clear, we come back to our true selves, our most aligned selves. So every time I've gone to India to do Panchakarma, which is a profound detox that we teach, I feel so light. I feel so clean. I feel so joyful. I feel pure-minded, pure of heart. And that's what I want for all of us, is for us to have that ability to create that in our daily lives where we live. It's not that we all have to give up 3 weeks to go to India or go abroad, but can we put the practices in place on a daily basis so that we live according to our circadian rhythm, so that we have sleep on point and we get perfect, delicious, healing, rejuvenative, detoxing sleep? Can we put Ayurvedic self-care rituals in place so that we are detoxing the body daily and feel grounded and supported and whole and nourished throughout our day? Can we have a meal plan in place for ourselves that honors the seasons, honors our dosha, the dosha from Ayurveda is our individual mind-body constitution, and it guides who we are and how we are in this world. If you're curious about doshas, I have a dosha quiz on my website at shivanigupta.com. I encourage you to take it. It's so important to understand what your constitution is so you can adjust your diet, your self-care, your sleep, and your habits to support yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally in an entirely new way. And also from Ayurveda, I teach so much about the digestive fire. The digestive fire is that gut health and honoring it, putting habits in place every morning, anchoring throughout the day. I teach something called tea time is me time, so that every day throughout the day, we're pausing and checking in with ourselves and asking ourselves, how do I feel right now? What do I need right now? Do I need to hydrate? Do I need to eat a meal? Do I need to take my supplements? Have I built my day so I'm going to survive this day? Or am I building my day in a way that I'm just going to crash like a car at the end of it and collapse? And so that's my wish for all of you, is that you learn new ways to take care of yourself in a beautiful and profound way as you listen to these podcast episodes and learn alongside me. So thank you for listening today. I look forward to sharing more on all the Fusionary Health podcast episodes with you. I encourage you to follow and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Please like, share, and follow. Please leave a review for us so we can continue to grow this podcast and share it with the world. And if you want to learn more about my websites, you can go to shivanigupta.com or fusionaryformulas.com. And we'll be posting great clips from this podcast on Fusionary Health. So at Fusionary Health on Instagram is the perfect place to DM me if you have any questions about the podcast. If you have questions or practitioners you want to have interviewed who you think are exceptional, I'm happy to interview them and meet them as well. And I look forward to sharing with you more on the podcast. Thanks so much.